What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace this rubber seal that goes between the side mirror cover and the body of the car. And so on the S-Class, you have this nice rubber seal, but over time, it starts cracking, it starts getting brittle, it starts falling apart, and just doesn't look good. And so I'm going to show you guys how to fix it. It's super easy, super simple. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to adjust our mirror, and we're going to use this toggle switch right here to move the mirror up and down, left and right, and all that good stuff. So this will be our controls, I guess you can say our control board, and we'll go back to this over time. So this is the ideal position we want for the mirror, is kind of this in to the right and then down. And that's going to give us the clearance we need for that clip right there. That clip is what we're going to use. We're going to depress that clip with a screwdriver, just like this. So on some models, don't quote me if I'm wrong, or don't quote me on this, but there may be a clip at the bottom. So just double check. But mine is at the top, and this is a 2004. So 2004 and up. The clip will be at the top, but just double check. And so you can see here I had to use a light because it's pretty dark, but we want to just hit that clip, press it, and then with the other hand, with our free hand, we'll slide the side mirror cover. And we just want it to slide. We're not trying to take it off all in one go. We just want to slide it. And you can see it right there that it just slides off once that clip has been pressed in, and the cover is holding it. So that's a close-up of the clip right there. That's what you're looking for. And you see there's even like a little indentation for a flathead screwdriver to catch. Great job on Mercedes engineering for that. So now we're going to use our toggle board to pull that mirror in, bringing it close to the car. And then we're going to just remove this wood trim here. Now it's a very delicate piece, so you want to make sure you're using plastic trim tools, like the blue tool that I'm using here. I'll definitely put a link down in the description for that. And just really just be gentle with it. You know, you're not trying to get it all in one go, and you know, you're just kind of like massaging it in a way. You know, you're kind of going from like one end to the other, and just really just taking your time. That's the key to removing all these panels successfully, is just take your time with it, no rush, and you know, that's going to be the best way to remove these panels. So now that it's removed, you're going to see those white kind of clip holders there, right there. There you go. You see how it's cracked. It's brittle. Over time, they just get brittle. And I suggest buying spares, and there's 4 to each side, so you can buy 8. You might not use all 8, but you know, it's always good to have spares. So we'll just take our pry tool again, and we'll just go ahead and just remove the ones that are damaged. And most likely it's just going to be this plastic piece. The metal is going to be fine, the metal clip. It's like a 2-piece system. And you can see there that the plastic is just all just cracked and damaged and brittle. So we can get rid of that and then just replace it with a new one. So once we put our new one in place there, here's the new one right here, and you can see it has that little metal clip holder as well. You can use that, or you can use the original one that came with the car. Either one's fine. And but the most important thing is that we replace that plastic holder. Okay, so now we have 3 screws that we're going to remove, and you know, there's also a 4th one. I'm going to show you where that 4th one is because it's hidden. And so if you're not aware about it, or if you don't know where it's at, then you'll think there's only 3, and you'll wonder why your panel's not coming off. So after we remove the 3, then we're going to have one more, and it's going to be hidden behind this little panel right here next to the door lever. So we'll use a wide wedge, and we'll just go ahead and get it in there, and then just pull it apart. And we can pull that door handle there just to get it out. And you'll see that screw right there. There we go. And then we'll just go ahead and unscrew that. and we'll be good to go. And then that'll be the 4 screws that's holding this little panel cover on. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did with the wood trim. We're just going to massage it, you know, just kind of not spend too much time in one area. We're just going to kind of go, you know, back and forth and everything, and just get it loose. We want to just loosen it up. That's the most important thing, is that we just loosen it up and kind of slowly pull it out, pull it apart, separate the paneling, and just kind of go from top to bottom there. And then we'll go on the side. You can even start on this part first, and there will be 3 little clips as well that's going to hold it in, and just go ahead and pry that open, and then come back and just kind of work everything loose. So just take your time, no rush on this. And then once we get it loose, we can pull that door handle a little bit just to kind of bring it down, but we're not aiming to remove it. We just want to kind of create separation between the panel and the door so that we can get inside and remove these wires. Well, I won't say wires, but clips. So there's 2 clips, and those 2 wires are actually connected together, so you can't remove them separately. But you are going to have to remove both of the connectors that go into the panel. And you can just use a pry tool like the blue one I'm using here, and that'll be good enough to get those clips removed. And so there they are, they're removed. And we can go ahead and sit them off to the side for now. And so now we're going to get our pull line and some electrical tape. I use electrical tape, but you can use any kind of tape you want, but electrical tape works great. Now we're going to tie a knot through the connectors, and tie the knot on the stronger side with the most wires, which is the black clip. So one thing also, pro tip here, is you want to fold the white connector in between the 2 black lines so that you make that wire as skinny as possible. And that way when you pull it through, it'll be easier to pull through. Because if those wire connectors are joined together, then it just makes it that much wider, which creates more like trouble when you're pulling it through. So we want to make that as easy as possible. So here we're just going to wrap it in some electrical tape like that, and get everything nice and tight, and then also protect that knot that we made so that it doesn't unravel as well. And so once everything is nice and wrapped, then we can go ahead and move to the mirror now, and we're going to remove the whole side mirror. And there's 3 screws that hold the side mirror. So we'll just take our screwdriver there and start removing those screws. Now the cool thing is you won't have to move the mirror back and forth, because Mercedes, the way they designed it is they made it so that you can just stick a screwdriver straight through. Once again, hats off to Mercedes engineering for that. And so once we remove all 3 screws right here, then we can just go ahead and start removing the mirror. And so the mirror may be stuck on, so just gently remove it. Don't try to remove it forcefully. And then after that, and just go ahead and start pulling that wire through. And so the trick to pulling this wire out, you want to kind of just be gentle and pull it from the base as much as possible. And then you're going to go back and forth between the panel side and the door side to kind of guide that wire out. Now, it is recommended to use a pry tool to bend back that metal tab right here. So you go ahead and use a pry tool. Just be careful not to like smash the wiring and everything like that. So you want to just, you don't want to cut the wires or anything like that. So even though it looks like I'm smashing the wires, I'm actually not. So you just bend that tab back And then once that tab is back, that'll just allow for more clearance for the wires to get through. And then we'll just go back and forth, just kind of massaging the wire and just kind of really working with it. Here I put the mirror between my legs just to hold it, but if you have somebody, or if you want to just wrap the mirror in a blanket, you can do that as well. And there we have it. So we have it free, and remember, do not lose that pull line, because that is our ticket back home. So make sure that we hold on to that pull line. It's kind of like time travel, you know. Make sure you have your key to get back to the time that you're going to. So now that everything is removed, we can remove that zip tie right there, that cable tie, so that we can remove that sponge, because the sponge is actually kind of held together with the zip tie. I guess if you want, you could squeeze the sponge through, but just remove the zip tie, and then just re-zip tie, use a new zip tie once you're ready to put the mirror back. So we'll just go ahead and take that sponge off just like that, and then we can just sit it on the side or something. And so now we're going to cut the rest of this rubber seal, this rubber gasket, and just get rid of it, because we don't need it anymore. And the original one, it's actually taped onto the wire, so the new one won't be like that. So this is, you know, see, there's the wire tape right there, so you can just kind of rewrap that. That's not a big deal. But yeah, so this is the new gasket seal, the new rubber seal. Part numbers, I'll definitely put links in the description for those so that you can order them. And here's I believe the part number for this one for the driver's side ends in 01. So you can see how that's a rectangle, and so the cables will just go right through that rectangle just like that, and then from there you'll just thread it through. And so once it's threaded through like that, just make sure, you know, it's kind of clean and everything, and then we'll put the rubber seal over the metal mirror, that's the bracket that's gonna mount to the car. So you'll see here how you want that rubber seal to go over the metal, and then also the rubber seal is going to go over the plastic part, which is folded up right now. So you'll see that later, what I'm talking about. You want the rubber seal to go over that as well. So from here, we're just making sure that that rubber seal is on properly, and that we're not missing any spots or anything like that, because, you know, we want to make sure we get it right. And so then we're going to go ahead and put the sponge back on. And speaking of getting it right, I actually put the sponge on before the zip tie. So you want to actually put the sponge on after the zip tie, which is closest to the rubber seal. Okay, so now we're going to retie a knot to our line, and we want to tie a good knot, make sure our knot's strong, and then we'll go ahead and wrap it again with tape. And remember, I should say suggestion, use a new piece of tape. And yeah, that's my skin there. It's just real dry from the winter. So if you see me in the streets, you know my name now. So yep, keep wrapping that wire. Make sure you use new tape. And then we'll just pull the line through, get it nice and snug, and then start threading it back. And, you know, it'll be the same process. You know, we'll just take our time. But this time, instead of pulling the wire, we're going to do more pushing. Pushing seems to help a lot more than pulling it. And so, you know, but the same principle applies. You know, we'll work from both sides. We'll kind of work from the door side, and then we'll work from the inside panel side, and we'll just kind of pull and push and pull and push until we get it fitted. So now we got it all fitted, and as you can see, the sponge is kind of, already in there, and the side mirror still needs to, kind of go a little bit closer. So, but here you can see that plastic cover that I was telling you about. And we want to make sure that that plastic cover is also under the rubber seal. So the rubber seal should go over both the metal and that plastic cover. And then, so that's just the thing to know with the rubber seal. Make sure that the rubber seal goes over both of those parts. And from here, we're just kind of, getting everything dialed back in, and go ahead and, just put the mirror back on. Now, you're going to have 3 screws, and I'm holding it this way just for you guys out there so that you can see, I guess for the sake of camera angle, but it's a good tip to push the screws in first just to get through that rubber. But you're going to have 3 screws, and then you're going to go ahead and just screw in all 3. So I'm only showing 1, but there's 3. And there you go. There's the new rubber seal. It looks beautiful, looks nice and new. Just giving it that nice touch to the car, We can start it off fresh with some UV protectant. And, just go ahead and run some UV protectant over that. That way you'll get a nice, good start. Then after that, put the original cover back on, and you're all set. So there it is. And now you have a new rubber seal, and we're good to go. All right, everybody, we have the new rubber seal on. The car looks great. The car looks brand new again. And so everything is perfect. And just remember to do the same to the other side. And thanks again for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Until then, see you guys next time.